This is the Radio Realtors.
I sold a house.
This is a home. This is a place to live. This is a place to live.
Northern California's longest running show on real estate.
Real estate is not just buying and selling houses.
What are you, some kind of real estate agent? Real estate agent?
I love real estate.
Ever since I laid eyes on that house, I wanted it.
The Radio Realtors.
I love every second.
Now, here's your host, Robert Lewis with eXp Realty.
Let's go and sell some homes.
Welcome to the Radio Realtors. We are Northern California's #1 real estate radio show, proudly coming to you live from the EquityProtect.com studios. Equity Protect is the only company that completely stops deed fraud and home title theft. And if you own your home free and clear, or you have thousands of dollars in equity, you need to protect that equity. The only company that does that fully is Equity Protect. You can get your free risk assessment today at their website, EquityProtect.com. That's EquityProtect.com. Please tell them that the Radio Realtors sent you. My name is Robert Lewis, your real estate professor. And if you've got a question or a comment, or you're just ready to hire me as your realtor to help you sell your home or buy a home, you can reach me on our hotline number at 833-32-RADIO. That's 833-32-RADIO. Or you can live chat with me on our website at radiorealtors.com. That's radiorealtors.com. And we've got a great show for you today, including these topics. Number one, we're going to talk to you about how home buyers can protect themselves against real estate scams. And number two, we're going to do an interview with my good friend Joe Flores from Flores and Associates Insurance Services and talk about the 5 things you need to know about your Medicare coverage before you move or when you move. So once again, you can get a hold of me on our hotline number, 833-32-RADIO. That's 833-32-RADIO. Or you can use the live chat option 24/7 at our website, radiorealtors.com. That's radiorealtors.com. Now, today we're tackling a serious topic that every home buyer needs to be aware of: real estate scams. Yes, folks, real estate fraud has become one of the fastest growing types of scams in recent years, targeting buyers at really every stage of the process, from wire fraud to fake listings and even title scams. Criminals are getting more and more sophisticated. For example, in July of last year, a Silicon Valley technology executive was tricked into sending over $400,000 to cyber criminals posing as her mortgage brokers in a scheme where fraudsters hijacked emails. And she was tricked into wiring her down payment to a fraudulent account. And that is super heartbreaking. But don't worry, because today we're breaking down how you can protect yourself against these schemes with actionable tips and expert advice from yours truly, Robert Lewis, with eXp Realty. So let's dive into the red flags to watch for and the steps that you can take to keep your money safe. We're going to start with one of the most common and costly scams, and that is number one, wire fraud. This scam usually occurs during the mortgage transaction, where fraudsters intercept emails containing wiring instructions, and they alter the details and they trick victims into transferring money to accounts that they control. So the red flag here is you receive an email with revised wiring instructions urging you to act quickly, and you want to be suspicious of any changes communicated via email or phone without proper verification. So how do you protect yourself? Well, by always confirming wiring instructions directly with your title company or mortgage broker using a trusted phone number. Also, never rely on contact details provided in an email. Fraudsters often create fake numbers and even email signatures, and then also request written confirmation for any changes. Earnest money is another area where scammers thrive. And this good faith deposit is supposed to show your intent to buy a home. However, scammers misuse these funds as operating capital or they funnel them into their own accounts instead of a secure escrow account. So the red flag here is you're asked to pay an earnest money deposit directly to a seller or an unverifiable account rather than a trusted escrow or title company. So how do you protect yourself in this case? Well, always ensure your deposit is handled by a reputable third party, such as a title company or an escrow agent. And you also want to verify the details of the account before wiring out any funds. This is something that I, as your real estate agent, can guide you in confirming the legitimacy of the transaction. Number 3 is you want to watch out for fake listings. And these could be rental listings, they could be home listings, but fake real estate listings are becoming increasingly common, especially on online platforms like Craigslist and Zillow and OfferUp and even Facebook Marketplace. And scammers, they will do this. They'll copy legitimate listings and then post them at a too good to be true price to lure victims in. And the red flag here is the property is listed at a suspiciously low price with incomplete or inconsistent information. And photos might be altered or copied from legitimate listings, which makes it even trickier. So how do you protect yourself? Well, you want to cross-check the property's details across multiple trusted real estate sites. And you also never want to pay a deposit before signing a legitimate contract. Scammers often ask for money up front to take the property off the market. And we've seen these happen time and time again. So also, you want to visit the property in person whenever possible. If the listing agent is unavailable or maybe they avoid showing you the property, consider it a red flag. I have been at vacant homes showing them to clients and have had people pull up to the home telling me that they were meeting the landlord for a rental preview. So these scams are alive and well. And I can tell you, this has happened to me so many times, especially during COVID. It seemed like everybody was really, really looking for a rental property at this point. And so anything that looked too good to be true, people were kind of jumping on them. And here's an example of this happening. So we had a home that we put together with a client where the client worked directly with the seller. It was the buyer and the seller. It was a cash deal. However, what happened is in between the time that the property sold and the time that the buyer was moving in, it was about a 3-day period of time. Well, a scammer got in there and changed the locks and showed this property and took a deposit from an unwitting person, and they lost $2,500, and they were in there with their children in this house starting to set up shop, that they were going to be moving in, and the true owner came in to set their things up, and they're going, what is going on here? Well, they realized that this gentleman had been scammed. And, he was willing to leave the home and there was some arrangements made and everything. But this gentleman never got his down payment back. And it was just a bad situation. So if it's too good to be true, folks, it probably is. You just got to be careful out there. But as a buyer, you need to be aware that this could happen. So we need to make sure that we make arrangements and that we're vigilant in every case possible. Now, I know this is a lot that I'm throwing at you, and we can make things easier for you if you're working with agents that know what they're doing. And here at the Radio Realtors and eXp Realty, the Robert Lewis Real Estate Group, we know what we're doing, and we can help you every step of the way to avoid these kinds of things. Give me a call. 833-32-RADIO is my number. That's 833-32-RADIO, or you can live chat with a member of my team 24/7 at radiorealtors.com, and I'll be back right after this. Well, it's like I said, you don't get to the Super Bowl or even the playoffs without a great quarterback. Take Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, and Jared Goff as examples. And when it comes to the game of real estate, you need a great quarterback too. What? Yeah, your quarterback in a real estate transaction is your mortgage lender. And my first round draft pick for a lender is Jeff Compton with Guild Mortgage. Jeff has loan options to fit every situation, from down payment assistance programs for first-time home buyers to government-sponsored programs for military families and rural residents, or jumbo loans in high-cost markets. Honesty, integrity, commitment, and speed are trademarks of Jeff's outstanding service that he provides to all of his clients. He's dedicating to doing what it takes until your loan is closed. And when you're ready to win, call Jeff Compton, 916-765-2900. That's 916-765-2900. Online at jeffcompton.com, NMLS ID number 298997.
After a long week, you finally got some time to yourself. Shouldn't you spend that time having some fun rather than attacking that DIY list? We think so. That's why we recommend Purpose Property Solutions. They're the ultimate affordable handyman service. They do junk removal, hauling, handyman electric, plumbing, interior and exterior home repairs, painting, tree removal, and so much more. Call Purpose Property Solutions today at 916-798-7705. Get your weekend back. Call 916-798-7705.
Hi, this is Jerry the Chimney Guy with Chim Chimney Professional Fireplace and Home Services. You may have noticed the weather is getting colder, and you know what that means. It means it's the perfect time to get your wood-burning or gas fireplace serviced. Remember, fireplaces are one of the leading causes of house fires in North America, and no one keeps your family safe like Chim Chimney. Chim Chimney offers quality chimney cleaning, inspection, and repairs on all types of wood-burning and gas fireplaces and wood stoves. Chim Chimney also offers dryer vent cleaning, rain gutter cleaning, pressure washing, and junk removal. Chim Chimney is your local, family-owned company servicing Northern California for over 40 years. We're open 7 days a week, too. Call us at 916-247-6579. That's 916-247-6579. Online at thechimchimney.com. That's thechimchimney.com. Chim Chimney, the official chimney sweep of the Radio Realtors.
Welcome back to the Radio Realtors with Robert Lewis from eXp Realty. If you'd like to talk to Robert directly, call 833-32-RADIO. That's 833-32-RADIO. And now, here's Robert.
All right, thanks, Matt. Welcome back to the Radio Realtors. We are Northern California's #1 real estate radio show, proudly coming to you live from the EquityProtect.com studios. And you know what? I know the owners of Equity Protect, Ryan Marshall and Jim Adams, and they started the company to fill a much-needed gap in the areas of home title fraud and equity theft prevention. And, you know, during the pandemic, there were a lot of criminals that were looking for tricky ways that they could steal from people. And one of the ways they found that had a lot of loopholes was home title fraud and equity theft. Well, there were a lot of people that were monitoring, but there was nobody that was offering prevention services, and that's where Equity Protect was born. And you can take your free risk assessment on your home today at equityprotect.com. If your home is low risk, then you can sign up for their free title monitoring. If your home is medium to high risk, sign up for the full service at equityprotect.com. That's equityprotect.com. Please tell them that the Radio Realtors sent you. My name is Robert Lewis, your real estate professor, and we're talking today about how home buyers can protect themselves against real estate scams. The first scam to be aware of is wire fraud, and wire fraud is a scam that usually occurs during the mortgage transaction where fraudsters intercept emails containing wiring instructions, and then they alter the details and trick victims into transferring money to accounts that they control. And so the red flag here is just be suspicious of any changes communicated via email, and they always are asking you to act quickly because you're going to lose this deal if you just don't do something right now. Protect yourself by confirming wiring instructions directly with the title company. Now, the second thing to look for is protecting your earnest money deposit. And the earnest money deposit is another area where scammers thrive. And scammers sometimes misuse these funds as operating capital, or they funnel them into their accounts instead of a secure escrow account. So the red flag would be if you're asked to pay an earnest money deposit directly to a seller or an unverifiable account rather than a trusted escrow or title company. Now, number 3 is you want to watch out for fake listings. There's a lot of fake real estate listings that are becoming increasingly common on platforms like Craigslist and Zillow and OfferUp and Facebook Marketplace and those types of places. And, scammers copy legitimate listings sometimes, and then they post them on these other sites at too good to be true prices. And that's where they're luring the victims, right? So how do you protect yourself? You want to just cross-check the property's details across multiple trusted real estate sites. Or better yet, you want to be working with a professional realtor like myself. Give me a call. I'd love to work with you. 833-32-RADIO. That's 833-32-RADIO. Number 4 is you want to be aware of title scams. Title fraud is another dangerous scheme, especially here in California where there are out-of-state sellers, and they are super common sometimes. Scammers target vacant properties or impersonate legitimate owners to sell properties they don't own. And, let's take a closer look at a very recent title scam. In May of 2024, Graceland, the iconic Memphis estate of Elvis Presley, was nearly auctioned off due to a fraudulent scheme orchestrated by scammers posing as legitimate lenders. And the fraudsters, operating under the guise of a company called Nosany Investments and Private Lending, fabricated documents alleging that Lisa Marie Presley had used Graceland as collateral for a loan in 2018. And they went so far as to forge her signature on promissory notes and deeds of trust, and even published a fake foreclosure notice in a Memphis newspaper claiming default on the non-existent loan. And the fraudulent activities advanced to the point where an auction date was set for Graceland. However, the Presley family filed a lawsuit to halt the sale, and a Tennessee judge promptly issued an order stopping the auction. And this bold attempt to seize one of America's most famous properties, it underscores the growing threat of title fraud, where scammers impersonate homeowners to refinance or sell properties without the owner's knowledge. And the Graceland incident serves as a stark reminder of the importance of vigilance and the need for tough measures to protect property ownership rights. The red flags here are the seller, maybe they can't provide proof of ownership, or they rush the closing process. And how do you protect yourself? Well, you want to verify the seller's identity and ownership through public records, and you want to work with a trusted title company to confirm the property's title history, and you want to be cautious if the seller's communication seems vague or evasive. Number 5 here is you want to scrutinize contractors for home repairs. Scammers don't stop once you've bought a home. Fraudulent contractors often prey on new homeowners looking for maintenance or repairs. And these scammers demand large advance payments, and then they disappear, or often they deliver shoddy work, right? And here's an example. Anchored Tiny Homes in Fair Oaks, California, they promised homeowners high-quality accessory dwelling units, or ADUs, but apparently they left dozens of clients with unfinished projects and no way to recover their substantial deposits. And some of the homeowners say they lost upwards of $100,000, and the company, they say, disappeared, leaving behind broken promises and a lot of legal battles. So the red flag here is contractors who request substantial upfront payments, or they lack proper licensing and insurance. Those are really red flags. And then how do you protect yourself? Well, you want to research contractors thoroughly by checking online reviews and their standing with the Better Business Bureau. You want to verify their licensing and insurance, and you want to avoid paying in full until the work is completed to your satisfaction. Number 6 is protecting yourself with Equity Protecting. Let's talk about an important tool for homeowners. Equity Protect is that tool. Once you own a home, title fraud becomes a real risk. Scammers can forge documents to steal your property's title, or maybe even take out loans against your equity. And title fraud isn't just theoretical. I have read things where people go, well, it's not that prevalent. But, here's an example. In Southern California, scammers used forged deeds to take out multiple loans on properties they didn't own. And then the homeowners were left dealing with the fallout, trying to prove they never authorized the transactions while their credit and finances took a hit. So how can Equity Protect help you? Well, Equity Protect monitors your property and in your title for any authorized changes or suspicious activity, and you'll receive real-time alerts if someone tries to tamper with your property records. And this is a proactive protection that ensures that your biggest investment remains secure. However, they don't just monitor your title, they prevent the crime from happening to you. There's a lot of companies out there that just monitor and that's all they do, but Equity Protect will stop the crime from happening. So Graceland, if they had Equity Protect, would have never got to that point. The Spelling Estate, if they had Equity Protect, it would never have gotten to that point. But it doesn't have to get there if you have the right protection. Homebuyers considering setting up Equity Protect services immediately after closing, it's a great way to go because it's a small price to pay for peace of mind, and it's like having a security system for your property's title and your equity. So go to equityprotect.com, take your free risk assessment today. And the conclusion here is real estate scams can happen to anybody. But the good news is that you can protect yourself with the right knowledge and tools. And that comes from verifying wiring instructions to scrutinizing contractors and leveraging services like Equity Protect. You have the power to safeguard your investment. And if you're in the market for a new home or you want to learn more about protecting your current property, give me a call today at 833-32-RADIO. It's Robert Lewis with eXp Realty. You can also visit me online at radiorealtors.com. That's radiorealtors.com. My team and I are here to help you every step of the way. And remember, once you've purchased your home, a awesome service like Equity Protect will keep your title secure and your equity safe. They're the only ones that do that completely and prevent the crime from happening to you. So don't wait until it's too late. Take action today. And don't go anywhere. I'm Robert Lewis with eXp Realty. Would love to work with you. We've got Joe Flores, the owner of Flores and Associates Insurance Services, coming in. He's the host of the popular Joe Knows Medicare show, and he's going to tell us about 5 things you need to know about your Medicare coverage when you move. So don't go anywhere. We are the Radio Realtors, 833-32-RADIO. That's 833-32-RADIO, or live chat with my team at radiorealtors.com. Back after this.
AC Heat and Plumbing, you just call Lee's. It's easy as calling Lee's. Lee's AC, Lee's AC, Plumbing and Heat, yeah.
Robert Lewis here from the Radio Realtors, and my friends at Lee's wanted me to remind you to be sure to stop by their booth at the Northern California Home and Landscape Show, January 31st through February 2nd at Cal Expo. This is the big show, and Lee's will have big savings for show attendees, including discounts on HVAC tune-ups, their exclusive HVAC and plumbing membership plans, their dynamic indoor air quality systems, and more. Lee's is your go-to solution for all your heating, AC, and plumbing needs. See you at the home show or book your service now at leesair.com. That's leesair.com.
AC Heat and Plumbing, you just call Lee's. It's easy as calling Lee's. Lee's AC, Lee's AC, Plumbing and Heat, yeah. Lee's AC.
I heard this great quote for the new year. The future is your story to write. Resolve to make the new year the best chapter yet. I love that. Robert Lewis here from the Radio Realtors and eXp Realty. Happy New Year, and if you haven't done so already, it's time to make a resolution, which could mean anything from eating better to getting to the gym more often to more productive work habits. And while these goals are certainly worthwhile, I'd like to make another suggestion for anyone who wants to sell their home in 2025. Why not resolve to make your sale as easy, efficient, and successful as possible? It's a big job. Fortunately, I've broken it down into smaller steps to help you start taking action now. In fact, I literally wrote the book on how to get it done. It's called Flip the Script, Turn Your Home into the Market's Hottest Property, available on Amazon. Why not give me a call today? Robert Lewis with eXp Realty. Call 833-32-RADIO. That's 833-32-RADIO. Online at radiorealtors.com. DRE number 0140-6275.
Welcome back to the Radio Realtors with Robert Lewis from eXp Realty. If you'd like to talk to Robert directly, call 833-32-RADIO. That's 833-32-RADIO. And now, here's Robert.
All right, welcome back to the Radio Realtors. We are Northern California's #1 real estate radio show, proudly coming to you live from the EquityProtect.com studios. And if you own your home free or clear, or you have thousands of dollars in equity, you need to protect that equity. There's only one company that completely stops scammers from accessing your equity, and that is Equity Protect. You can go to their website, EquityProtect.com, and take your free risk assessment, find out what your vulnerability level is, and you can decide whether or not you just want free monitoring from them, or if you want the entire protection package. Go to EquityProtect.com and tell them that the Radio Realtors sent you. My name is Robert Lewis, your real estate professor, and I am the host of the Radio Realtors, and we help you navigate all aspects of buying and selling homes, moving and settling into a new home. And today we have a special guest joining us. It's Joe Flores. He is the owner of Flores and Associates Insurance Services, and he's the host also of the popular AM 1380 The Answer Show, Joe Knows Medicare. Joe, welcome to the Radio Realtors.
Great. Thank you, Rob. Happy New Year.
Boy, it seemed like 2024 just went so fast. And we're already deep into the month of January.
Yeah. The last quarter of 2024 was a lot of work, a lot of transactions. People were losing their Medicare Advantage plans, a lot of shift in the market with the prescription plans. We got through it. I'm glad to report that my son joined the business with me. He's 24 out of USC, and I think you met him.
Yeah.
Paul. And
great young man. Yeah.
He joined at the right time.
Yeah, he did.
So I was helping my current members, and he was talking to new members. So, but yeah, Happy New Year, everyone. And yeah, helping people every day with Medicare topics and transitions. And it does relate to real estate. And thanks for inviting me to talk about it.
Absolutely. Well, and I labeled the name of this segment, 5 Things You Need to Know About Medicare Coverage When You Move. And so I guess that first question would be, why does moving impact your Medicare coverage? Isn't it just the same everywhere? That was my thoughts, but apparently not.
Yeah, you should make the phone call and we could talk about it. There's some examples. I've had people move up to the foothills,
right?
Like Nevada County, or El Dorado Hills, or the benefits with Medicare vary county by county. So Medicare Advantage plans are not the same all over. You have to look into the new zip code, new county, and that's only part of the analysis. We look at the plans available, premium, co-payments, deductibles, but also important is the doctor selection. I can help you find a new family primary care physician, whether it's family practice or internal medicine. And I'm just talking about Medicare Advantage plans. When you move, you can qualify for a Medicare supplement plan without underwriting, right? Okay. So that's a huge deal. And when I say underwriting, a lot of people, ask me, I thought they got rid of that, with Affordable Care Act. Well, with Medicare supplement, they could still ask you medical questions to see if you qualify.
Okay.
For a Medicare supplement, and they can ask you about your prescription use and pre-existing conditions. But when you move, you're in a new service area and those questions are waived. So maybe there is a change of healthcare status and you need a Medicare supplement plan versus Medicare Advantage. Or maybe in the new area that you're moving, they only have like one Medicare Advantage available, so
right.
It opens up the door for healthcare options.
One of the things that when you move, you need to notify Medicare or your coverage provider. Why is it so important that you notify the plan provider or Medicare?
Right. So hopefully before you move, you contact me. I'll give you a heads up. Okay. So that's the first phone call.
Because they should be calling you. So what is that phone number for you?
Oh, thanks. It's 916-396-4111. Or it's easier to find me at joeknowsmedicare.com. I have a chat feature on my website, joeknowsmedicare.com.
And you have a cup of Joe with Joe, because you say that if they have a cup of coffee with you, by that time you could help them hopefully figure out their situation.
Yeah, it's that big gulp size. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, hey, that's the size it's got to be a venti at least.
Yeah, it's not the espresso teacup. It's no, I'm just kidding.
It's a big one.
No, usually by the time you have a cup of coffee with me around that time frame, I can find out generalities of what we're looking for. But I follow up with research. Like I mentioned before, the plans in that zip code, the doctor's prescriptions. As an independent agent, I have access to multiple plans, not just one. I like offering choice and selection.
Yeah.
So that changed in 2005, because before 2005, you can only work with one company at a time, and you can only rep that one company. Mm-hmm. So in 2005, it opened up to brokers and choice and selection.
So how far in advance should people be notifying you before they, make a move or?
General guidelines, a couple months, 3 months, 2 months before, and then we do the transaction before you move. There's a lot of considerations, premium is the first one, so you notify, we have the conversation, but eventually you do notify your current existing insurance company. It's a tough question to answer because it really depends on what you're selecting for your new coverage. So sometimes it's just a transfer. Other times you're leaving that type of program, like between Medicare Advantage and Medicare Supplement. So eventually you do have to notify Social Security, but that's part of the consultation. I'll guide you through the process of how to transfer from one plan to the next. Mm-hmm. And it's hard to answer right away because it depends on where you're coming from.
Right. Okay.
So it could be an employer plan, Medicare Supplement, Medicare Advantage. So it really depends, but that's part of part of the consultation.
So I've heard about these special enrollment periods. How do they apply when somebody is moving?
Okay. So when you move, it triggers a special enrollment period. Now, if you're talking about Medicare Advantage, we'll look at your zip code and we'll find out your service area. And then you can change plans when you move. So it's a mid-year transaction. So you don't have to wait for October, October 15th, which is an annual enrollment period. You qualify for a special enrollment period from Medicare Advantage to Medicare Advantage. Now, again, it's hard to answer here. It depends on where you're coming from. But like I mentioned before, if you want a Medicare Supplement and you're leaving your current service area, you do qualify guaranteed issue for a Medicare Supplement plan. Like I said, you got to look at what you're coming from today.
So sometimes you can almost shop for a new plan during those SEP periods.
Right. Okay. Yeah, you're shopping for a new plan. Then I got to let you know information from the local community that is not on the internet. Like, for example, if you're moving to a new area, you have to make sure that the doctor that you want is taking original Medicare with the Medicare Supplement, because some doctors, it's the common practice is like, with Medicare Supplement, you go anywhere you want to go to, but not in our neighborhood here. You have to be careful of the medical group that you're selecting to make sure that they're taking Medicare and Medicare Supplement plan.
Okay.
And a lot of people don't know that. And, I get that. Are you sure, Joe? I'm like, yeah, because I've been working this market for, this is my 30th year. And across the country, there are different federal guidelines, but there are different rules. Yeah, you figure they'd follow the federal guidelines, right? But every market has a different take on it.
That's why it's super important to talk to somebody like yourself rather than just maybe doing your own, research online or what have you. You're a pro, so you're going to be able to help them better than them just doing something online.
Yeah, it's just the navigation of the decision, the options. And, I got a comment. The other day, this happened a couple times in January so far. I guess I have more time to search social media.
Okay, there you go.
I get this, I don't want to mention the name of it's the neighborhood one, okay? Just last night, I'm helping my mom. She's 79, helping her find a new plan. She has Medicare, Medi-Cal. And I'm reading the comments. And again, this happened a couple weeks ago with another client. The people are willing to help, but they're giving them bad info.
Oh, that's not good. Yeah.
It's not good. And I know their heart is good, but they're all, I have Dr. So-and-so, I have this plan, or this works for me. Well, everyone has a different situation.
Sure.
Right. And no one asks, okay, what do you currently have? What county do you live in? Which doctor do you prefer? And if you just give general information without knowing the starting point, which is what do you have today?
Sure.
And what are your concerns? You're just giving information for nothing because, you don't know the starting point.
Right.
All right. So I train my agents on finding out what exactly they currently have today. And then if you can improve the situation, great. And we don't charge a consultation fee. We get paid by the insurance companies. So I responded. I'm all, hey, check out Joe Knows Medicare. Contact me, because that's another thing with Medicare. With Medicare Advantage, I can't call them. They have to call me. It's a marketing guideline.
Okay.
It's a protected class.
So you don't want to break any federal laws or whatever.
No, I mean, people do it all the time, but no, not me. You have to follow the guidelines, the law. It's Medicare under Social Security that outbound phone calls for Medicare Advantage is not allowed, but it happens all the time.
Oh, that's crazy. So we've got to go to break, but Joe told me that he can stay on for one more segment. And if you'd like to get a hold of me, Robert Lewis, here at the Radio Realtors, give us a call at 833-32-RADIO. That's 833-32-RADIO, or you can live chat with a member of my team 24/7 at RadioRealtors.com. That's RadioRealtors.com, and we'll be back right after this. Well, it's like I said, you don't get to the Super Bowl or even the playoffs without a great quarterback. Take Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, and Jared Goff as examples. And when it comes to the game of real estate, you need a great quarterback too. What? Yeah, your quarterback in a real estate transaction is your mortgage lender. And my first round draft pick for a lender is Jeff Compton with Guild Mortgage. Jeff has loan options to fit every situation, from down payment assistance programs for first-time home buyers to government-sponsored programs for military families and rural residents, or jumbo loans in high-cost markets. Honesty, integrity, commitment, and speed are trademarks of Jeff's outstanding service that he provides to all of his clients. He's dedicating to doing what it takes until your loan is closed. And when you're ready to win, call Jeff Compton, 916-765-2900. That's 916-765-2900. Online at jeffcompton.com, NMLS ID number 298997.
After a long week, you finally got some time to yourself. Shouldn't you spend that time having some fun rather than attacking that DIY list? We think so. That's why we recommend Purpose Property Solutions. They're the ultimate affordable handyman service. They do junk removal, hauling, handyman electric, plumbing, interior and exterior home repairs, painting, tree removal, and so much more. Call Purpose Property Solutions today at 916-798-7705. Get your weekend back. Call 916-798-7705.
Hi, this is Jerry the Chimney Guy with Chim Chimney Professional Fireplace and Home Services. You may have noticed the weather is getting colder, and you know what that means. It means it's the perfect time to get your wood burning or gas fireplace serviced. Remember, fireplaces are one of the leading causes of house fires in North America, and no one keeps your family safe like Chim Chimney. Chim Chimney offers quality chimney cleaning, inspection, and repairs on all types of wood burning and gas fireplaces and wood stoves. Chim Chimney also offers dryer vent cleaning, rain gutter cleaning, pressure washing, and junk removal. Chim Chimney is your local family-owned company servicing Northern California for over 40 years. We're open 7 days a week, too. Call us at 916-247-6579. That's 916-247-6579. Online at thechimchimney.com. That's thechimchimney.com. Chim Chimney, the official chimney sweep of the Radio Realtors.
Rob here, reminding you that you can hear all of our shows on the Radio Realtors podcast through Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon, Pandora, and more. Please give the Radio Realtors podcast a 5-star review and share the link with your friends. Access it now at RadioRealtors.com.
Welcome back to the Radio Realtors with Robert Lewis from eXp Realty. If you'd like to talk to Robert directly, call 833-32-RADIO. That's 833-32-RADIO. And now, here's Robert.
Welcome to the Radio Realtors. We are Northern California's #1 real estate radio show, proudly coming to you live from the EquityProtect.com studios. If you own your home free and clear, or you have thousands of dollars in equity, or you own vacant land, you need to protect your assets. And the way that you can do that is with Equity Protect. They're the only company that completely prevents financial crimes from happening to you with your title or your equity. Go to their website at EquityProtect.com. That's EquityProtect.com. Take your free risk assessment today. EquityProtect.com. That's EquityProtect.com. Tell them that the Radio Realtors sent you. My name is Robert Lewis, and we are talking with Joe Flores. He's the owner of Flores and Associates Insurance Services, and he's also the proud host of Joe Knows Medicare right here on AM 1380 The Answer. Joe, thanks for staying on for another segment.
Thank you very much for having me today, Rob, and I'm here to help.
So let me ask you this question, Joe. How do the local networks play a role in the Medicare coverage, especially with the Medicare Advantage plans?
The local networks Some don't even take Medicare Advantage at all. And I'm talking about some major networks in the Sacramento region. They don't like Medicare Advantage. They prefer Medicare Supplement. And then you have other groups, it's the reverse. They don't want Medicare Supplement. They want Medicare Advantage. I swear I'm not making this up.
Right.
It's like you want to find out where the patient or the client wants to go for their doctor. And then I figure out how to match the plan to the needs of the patient or the customer.
So how does someone figure out if their providers are still in network? Is that something you can help them with?
I can help them with, I know how to do the research. I have the tools available. You can call the doctor's office, but a lot of times you call the doctor's office and they're confused too. Nothing personal, but if you talk to the wrong person in the office that doesn't know the type of plans.
Sure.
There's a lot of generalization when I talk to people. Like, for example, this happens all the time. Oh, I have a Medicare Supplement plan, and they don't. They have a Medicare Advantage plan. Right.
Well, that's a big problem.
Yeah. It's like the naming of the type of plans out there. There's a lot of confusion, not only with the beneficiary, but with the doctor offices. Mm-hmm. Right. It happens all the time. They go, I got that Medicare Supplement. And no, they don't. So I have to educate in a nice way, just reaffirm what they currently have, an educational process without offending the client.
Right.
This is the way you say it in the future.
Sure.
But when people move too, it's not only the plan, but there are other concerns too, Rob. The long-term care is a big problem. But hopefully it doesn't happen, personally, but, I'm sure people have family members that have gone through a long-term care dilemma. And when you move, you might have equity and you're back to real estate. You might have equity that you're sitting on, and it's a good time to look at your retirement plan to generate an income. So let's keep you away from a nursing home, if possible, to pay for someone to come home to your home to help you at home. And that requires an income stream. So that's part of the job too. Yeah, I go heavy on Medicare, but a lot of my clients, they need that income planning.
And that's something that you can help them with, right? I mean, as far as the retirement planning.
Yeah, it's a conversation. Mm-hmm. Like, for example, for Medicare, I don't write every person I talk to, because they're fine on their employer plan, or they retire, they have TRICARE, military coverage. Right. It's the same thing with retirement planning. Not everyone sees a need for it, or, they decide to go, a different route. That's fine. But at least you had that no-cost consultation on some options available for retirement planning.
The great thing about you is you're not going to force anybody. You're educating.
Right.
And then, say, hey, you know what, I can help you, or, you're okay where you are right now, and you'll let them know that.
The goodwill comes back. And that's been my philosophy for 30 years. And that's why I'm training my agents to do the same thing. Case by case, client by client, you do the right thing, and the business comes back.
Yeah, absolutely.
So not only with the doctors and premiums and retirement planning, there's just a lot of prescriptions come into play.
Right. Well, that's the next thing. Really? So with prescription drug plans, those can be tricky when moving because something might not be available or covered in different areas if it's a certain drug or something like that. So how does that work?
Yeah, again, it goes to what you currently have today, right? So if you have a Medicare Advantage plan, that's usually tied into your Medicare Advantage plan and prescriptions.
Right.
So then you're looking at the new area with new doctors and how they cover that prescription. It kind of comes as a bundle,
right?
Like a combo. If you have a Medicare supplement, then you have a separate prescription plan, Part D, and you might have to keep that current prescription plan because it's still in your service area. So it really depends on where you're coming from, where you're moving to. So you might have to wait for the next open enrollment to change your drug plan. But there are too many variables to talk about right now. It's consumer sensitive.
Right.
You have to find out the details.
It looks like we just got a text on the Radio Realtors hotline at 833-32 Radio from Peter in Loomis, California. And he said, how do Medigap plans factor in to all this?
Okay.
Is this a good question? I don't know what a Medigap plan is.
Yeah, it's crazy in the industry. I mean, they make it confusing, which is, I call it my job security.
Right, sure.
Because a Medigap is the same as a Medicare supplement plan. Okay. So with a Medicare supplement Medigap, you're able to self-refer to doctors. You got to make sure they're participating. You pay a monthly premium, but Medicare pays first. Then there are gaps with Medicare.
Okay,
that's where the name comes from. It's Medigap. So the Medigap is going to fill in the gaps. Like, for example, the 20% that Medicare doesn't pay. Medicare pays 80%. Then you're responsible for 20%. But that's where you have a Medigap. or also known as a Medicare supplement plan.
Okay.
So it fills in the holes that Medicare doesn't provide.
Wow.
So some people think Medicare's full coverage and there's a bunch of holes or gaps.
So let's recap for the listeners. So the 5 things that they need to know about their Medicare coverage when they move are, number 1 is they need to notify Medicare and the plan provider, but it's better if they just call you in advance before they move, right? So that's number 1. And then they can take advantage through you of the special enrollment periods.
Correct.
Right. And then 3, you got to understand the importance of the local networks because that changes everything. And I mean, you can do Medicare coverage nationwide, but you've been here in this area for Northern California and over 30 years doing this. So you're an expert when it comes to that. And then be aware of the changes to your prescription drug plan, because if you're moving from here to here, there might be a thing where maybe you have some important prescription coverage that is not going to be covered in the new area, or you need to change your plan somehow, right?
Yeah, it's an opportunity to make improvements to your current coverage.
Okay.
Especially with the prescriptions. Like if you're able to make that change, again, it depends on what you currently have in the situation, but I've saved thousands of dollars for my clients, and I'm not exaggerating. We've shared stories before.
It was like $100,000 a year drug that your clients was taking, right?
You'll be surprised. I forgot the name of the drug. I saw the commercial for it too. But anyway, it was hundreds of thousands of dollars. Okay. Not exaggeration here. And with the new law with prescriptions, there's a $2,000 maximum out of pocket, but you have to be on the right plan. The drug has to be a covered prescription. With one company, it may be covered. With another, it may not. So you want to make sure that it's on a formulary, a list of prescriptions with the company that covers it.
Right.
So you still out of pocket $2,000, but it's better than over $100,000 if you didn't make a change.
So that's that 5th thing, then reviewing your Medigap coverage and your premiums and those things as well. So many things.
Yeah. And it's not only the cost savings, but I want to match the need that you have with the right plan.
Right.
Because when you move, you might have extra costs. It might be your homeowner's insurance, or, you're watching every dollar, home improvements, and it's a new stage in your life. You're in a new home. So you want to watch every dollar. And if I could save you hundreds to thousands of dollars per year, again, not an exaggeration, then that money can be used for your family.
Yeah, you owe it to yourself if you are old enough where you have Medicare coverage, and especially if you're moving. But even if you're not moving, folks, you might want to call Joe and just have him review what you currently have, because sometimes there can be some changes that can be made, and it's going to save you money or save you frustration.
Yeah. It's a time saving too. I hear that quite a bit. I was on hold for an hour and I'm still frustrated. I still didn't get the answer. I'm like, well, I could have done that in a couple minutes, Right. That happens. I hate to hear that. It's just, they're calling multiple companies and they're getting different information. Now you have all these reps calling you from different companies. Well, I'm an independent broker, so I have not 100% of them, but I have the majority.
Yeah. So you have access to a good portion. Yeah. So if somebody wants to get a hold of you, how do they get a hold of you? What's the best way?
Yeah. Text or phone. I'm kind of still old school in that way.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah.
916.
Yeah. What's the number?
I'll give you my phone. We were talking about that before the show. 916-396-4111. JoeKnowsMedicare.com. And I can find out if you're on the correct plan for you and your family. So if you want to get a hold of Joe, call him at 916-396-4111. You can call him or text him. And remember, folks, whether you're moving across the town or you're moving across the country, planning ahead is the key to a stress-free transition there. And for all your real estate needs, you can give us a call here at the Radio Realtors, 833-32-RADIO. Thanks for the opportunity to be on your show. Yeah, absolutely. You care about your clients, and it adds value to what you do for your clients. Sure. And when they move, things come up, and this is hopefully one way we can help them. It's good to know, and it's good to have you on the show. Once again, thanks for listening to the Radio Realtors, where we always give you the best real estate advice. And remember, when it comes to real estate, not hiring Robert Lewis is a waste you can't afford.
Thanks for tuning in to the Radio Realtors with Robert Lewis from eXp Realty. To reach Robert, just call 833-32-RADIO. That's 833-32-RADIO. Or live chat with a member of our team anytime at RadioRealtors.com. The Radio Realtors, where we make real estate real easy. AC, heat, and plumbing, you just call
Robert Lewis here from the Radio Realtors, and my friends at Lee's wanted me to remind you to be sure to stop by their booth at the Northern California Home and Landscape Show, January 31st through February 2nd at Cal Expo. This is the big show, and Lee's will have big savings for show attendees, including discounts on HVAC tune-ups, their exclusive HVAC and plumbing membership plans, their dynamic indoor air quality systems, and more. Lee's is your go-to solution for all your heating, AC, and plumbing needs. See you at the home show or book your service now at leesair.com. That's leesair.com.
AC, heat, and plumbing, you just call Lee's. It's easy as calling Lee's. Lee's AC, Lee's AC, plumbing and heat, yeah. Lee's AC.
I heard this great quote for the new year. The future is your story to write. Resolve to make the new year the best chapter yet. I love that. Robert Lewis here from the Radio Realtors and eXp Realty. Happy New Year, and if you haven't done so already, it's time to make a resolution, which could mean anything from eating better to getting to the gym more often to more productive work habits. And while these goals are certainly worthwhile, I'd like to make another suggestion for anyone who wants to sell their home in 2025. Why not resolve to make your sale as easy, efficient, and successful as possible? It's a big job. Fortunately, I've broken it down into smaller steps to help you start taking action now. In fact, I literally wrote the book on how to get it done. It's called Flip the Script, Turn Your Home into the Market's Hottest Property, available on Amazon. Why not give me a call today? Robert Lewis with eXp Realty. Call 833-32-RADIO. That's 833-32-RADIO. Online at radiorealtors.com. DRE number 0140-6275.
Larry Elder here, the great Eldrisky, and I'm so happy to be back on AM 1380 The Answer. Did you know that because of our current administration, 86% of U.S. renters would like to buy a home, but they feel they can't? It's a sad situation, but as my father, Randolph Elder, said, hard work wins. You can't control the outcome, but you can control the effort. How do you control the effort if you want to buy a home in Northern California? You call the Dream Team, the Robert Lewis Group, with eXp Realty. Check it out. Darren and Teresa had been renting for years, and they wanted to buy a home for their family of 4, and even though they thought it was a lost cause, they made the call to Rob and his team. And in just a few days, they were pre-approved and out looking at homes. Rob found them the perfect home, negotiated a great price, and in just 21 days, they had the keys to their dream home. Hard work wins, so call Rob today at 833-32-RADIO. That's 833-32-RADIO. Online at radiorealtors.com. That's radiorealtors.com, DRE number 01406275.
Rob here reminding you that you can hear all of our shows on the Radio Realtors podcast through Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon, Pandora, and more. Please give the Radio Realtors podcast a 5-star review and share the link with your friends. Access it now at radiorealtors.com.